pop culture. That's the word. Social pop. We'll report on the kind of popular culture and then have a chat about it after. So the format is very simple. I'm just gonna let this video go. They're talking about what your Instagram account says about you or something in that chat, which is quite interesting. Cenk, who's the kind of CEO and founder, they're making fun of him because like he just had like the most simplistic like captions ever. So like he'll have a picture with just like food and be like breakfast in America. It's like like just random stuff like that. And you know they're talking about a narcissistic guy called Hassan Pike, but we don't talk about him. Cool. So the format of the TCS show is going to be very simple. The plan is to have, if everyone can see, to have a main show. So the idea is to have a daily stream, right? A daily stream for 2 hours, and then to cut that daily stream into lots of different small clips, some of which will be on social media as drivers, but really the full show will only be able to be seen by those who are members, right? So you can watch the full show, it will be on demand, you can watch it live, you can watch it anytime you want, and then we'll have maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes here on different social media outlets that people who aren't members can see, in hope that it'll be like, I really like that, I want to know more. And then they come to the website and join the actual show. I don't know if I'm blocking anyone. I'm trying to not block anyone. What's the best place to stand? Is it? Okay? No, I'm blocking. No, okay. No, I'm telling you what.
Yeah, please, for the... Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Stay here.
And within the show, the idea is to have 1 hour spent kind of reporting and discussing breaking news, kind of national news and things of that nature, British politics, as we said, all the things we said before. And then the second hour is to spend discussing kind of social commentary on a wide range of topics from sport to popular culture, news that we think is salient, and kind of funny stories, interesting debates, social media coverage, like what's trending on social media perhaps, or just all these kind of other things. But the plan that I've toyed with, because I spoke to the BBC about this idea 5 times, because initially I was going to pursue it as like a program on the BBC, then things changed. So, because they just get to the same different format, I'm like, no. Anyways, so the format that I think we're kind of settled on, but it can still change. I'm open to change. Clearly not, but I'm open to change. So the plan is to have 1 right-wing host, 1 left-wing host, and 1 centrist balancer. So what would happen is we would have to trust, I guess, in some senses, the hosts to first report the news. So for instance, I would say something like, yesterday Kanye West went into a school and punched kids because they're not creative enough, right? And once that's been reported, it's then open to social commentary, where the left wing guy would say, oh well, this is what they do, those kind of guys. And then maybe the right wing guy said, I don't know. Anyways, we would have 2 different people kind of giving their commentary, and it would be kind of open debate. It wouldn't be, you know what you're going to get from the right-wing guy, you know what you're going to get from the left-wing guy. TYT is very successful. The only issue with TYT is, if you're conservative, you can't watch it. You will probably vomit. Like it's so, like, left-leaning. It's like, oh my gosh, like, everything is just, oh, this is this, you know. So we thought, okay, well, they've been successful doing independent news. However, they only cater for a small kind of for a small section of the spectrum. What if we could, and that's open to the Common Sense brand, have a show where even if you're left wing, you know there's going to be someone representing your views, and if you're, you know, quote unquote right wing, you have someone who also represents your view, and if you're kind of like undecided, I'm not really too fussed, you have someone in the center who serves to balance both kind of sides. We thought having something like this, having a format like this, for me, I believe it means anyone can watch the show. Now, it doesn't mean the person on the show is going to perfectly represent everything you think, but at least there's someone that kind of speaks the language you understand, right? And we have that, and the show basically features debates, as we said before, kind of round tables, maybe interviews sometimes when it's do the kind of videos you're speaking about, like kind of informative videos, but also kind of vox boxes as well, where we kind of go to the crowd, to the public, and ask them what they think about certain issues, certain problems, and report back and that, have commentary on that also. The program, like I said before, will be available for consumption online based on a staggered membership, and will be controlled by the member. So based on how much you pay, to a certain extent you have a certain level of quote-unquote control over what we produce. So you can vote on pieces we write, you can vote on new employees we employ, you can vote on, like, being a member means you basically own the company, you're the boss. The same way you control your Netflix, if you pay for it, I think he's left, the same way you control your Netflix, the same way you control your Spotify, you get to control your own media outlet as well, in terms of voting on what pieces we look at. And let's say, for instance, there might be a big bid within us to look at you know, let's say we're American, there might be, okay, is Donald Trump, did he actually, was there evidence of collusion with the Russians, or should we investigate, you know, bone marrow disease and something like that? You would get a vote on that as a member of TCS. This is what we want to investigate. This is where we want the quote unquote company to be going. Cool. To install it, and the plan is largely to establish TCS with this money. So that's what we're going to be doing with the £100,000. Everyone good? Mm-hmm. Good. All right, cool. So one might be like, what? That's a lot of money. You gotta go.
Sorry, yeah, just a good question. You know, full-time stuff, part-time stuff.
Yeah.
Is it logistics at the back?
Yeah. Oh, there's tons. So in terms of where we'll be and how all that stuff will be kind of included. But we need full-time stuff. Like someone to kind of look at this kind of full-time. And we need some part-time staff as well, someone to support the full-time stuff. But it's something that we're looking to be able to employ those people come September. So there's definitely a full-time job in it for someone at least, and part-time roles as well. So I'm going to come back to this slide later to talk about the crowdfunding. Now, can it be done? That's what you might be saying. Can it be done? There's a little business called Newsbud in America. This is their logo. I think it's okay. It says where media integrity matters. This is their tagline. Tired of getting news from sources funded by mega corporations. Newsbud, 100% people-funded media where media integrity matters. Spell Edmonds. She's an author. She had for the project 1,330 backers, and she raised $171,000. It's really interesting, their campaign. Here is their video. Oh, you won't hear it. Listen carefully. Or maybe I can use subtitles.
We all know the problem. The FBI announcing that it has found the passport of one of the hijackers. We heard a short burst of machine gun fire. They found supplies of Rebecca Viagra.
You get the conspiracy. Listen to our government agencies. These guys are telling the truth.
I love that video.
We all want a solution. Newsbud will be uncompromised and uncompromising in our independent reporting. To be able to untangle all these different tangles and to help people understand, and not only understand, but also motivate them to take action in their own community.
And that's what we want to do as journalists, and we don't see anyone else doing it.
The solution is us. Together, we can help create a 100% people-funded online media outlet. This is Newsbud. Headed up by award-winning activist, publisher, and author Sibel Edmonds, in partnership with a network of seasoned and international producers, editors, and independent investigative journalists, Newsbud will offer original stories and investigative reports, video podcast productions, editorials, and discussion forums. Newsbud's first attempt at crowdfunding earlier this year met with resounding support, and the pledges flooded in, but it wasn't enough to meet the project's goal. Rather than give up, Newsbud has changed its funding strategy and launched a new campaign.
Okay, we don't have much time, so I'm going to stop it there. But you can watch it in your own time, just type in Newsbud. But it's very interesting because when I looked at it, I didn't know how much they raised. I kind of saw the video and I was thinking, yeah, I don't like this, is not very good. So I kind of like just went off it. Then when on Kickstarter, that's how much they raised. They've done 3 phases of funding. They've raised 171, they've raised 194,000, and they've raised 212. I was like, wow. and you know, and I was thinking, I looked, I was like, the logo's not good enough. It's not, it doesn't really, you know. And I had all these kind of quote unquote criticisms, right? But based on kind of just their network, the structure they managed to build, and the idea, like clearly someone cared, you know, enough to fund it. So my point is, it is possible. It's been done, and the thing about, I mean, America and the UK, obviously different contexts. So, how do I present? Cool. America and the UK, obviously different contexts, you know, but it has been done before, is my point. And this same company did it 3 times over. Now, how do they do it? Just work this out really quickly. 161 people gave $30 or more. I mean, look down the list. This is how many people gave so much, so and so much. Two people gave 10,000. That's amazing, right? That's amazing. But really, that's only 20,000. They raised 171. If you think about where they made the most of their money, like where would you say it was? Like what 3 blocks would you say basically decided whether they got the money or not? I think obviously it's 50, 100, and 250. That's it. Like it's hit. Now, can most people afford that? Absolutely. Now, of course, those who can't afford it at all probably will give something like 50. Right, and I just can't. Those who can, I'm okay. I've got quite a bit of disposable income. Can give 100. Those who are quite passionate about it can give 250. Just that block there. This, add that, and I think add a couple of these. We would raise the money we want to raise, just like that, right? So it's possible is my point. I mean, when you look at 100, it was like, but when you break it down, it's actually possible to get. I mean, if you build a structure that can handle it, to get 208 people to give something like, say, £40 towards something like this, I think it's definitely possible. Like, I've definitely raised more for like non-profit stuff, right? And likewise, so on. So my point is possible. Now, what was their goal? Their goal was 150,000. It says right there. So they surpassed it and they raised 171,000. They did it in 45 days, right? 45 days, because that's what Kickstarter is. It's a short burst campaign. Like, you got to have a crazy structure. You got to work. You got to have a team of a lot of people, and just literally just a couple of people working on the big ticket items. Guys, you can give the £500, that kind of stuff. A couple of guys working on the kind of little one on the street, maybe. Guys, £30, kind of change a couple of that. But more so, everyone working on the kind of 50s, the 100s, the 200s. Of course, your family support you because they like you, like, oh, well done, yeah, whatever. But then you've got to kind of think about people in different markets. And no, they did it, is my point, and they did pretty well at it. Now, here's how they did it in terms of what they offered people. I don't know if you guys can see this, but in Kickstarter, based on how much people give, they get a certain back, as it were. So if you give, like I said before, if you give $30, you get a digital copy of a news poster to use as your DP. I don't know what that means, but you get that anyways. And 161 people gave that. If you gave 50, you got a complimentary 1 month free subscription, and you got a digital copy. Again, 280 people gave that. If you give 100, I don't know if you can see there, but a digital copy, and 3 month subscription. 282 people gave that. If you do 250, there's a T-shirt there, and a 1 year subscription, and you get to be a VIP sponsor. Don't know what that means, but probably might just be a title, but also you might get some kind of stuff from that as well. And obviously 10,000, you get 2 nights at some golf resort. You get a private dinner with the company's founder. You get a private tour at the facilities, which probably would just be my room. Here you are, it's the bed, so I sleep there. And you get like a gift package, which is like the mug, a signed book, like all that kind of stuff, and name recognition if you desire it. So you see the point. It's just a staggered. It's basically what membership is, but for the fundraiser, it's not. It won't be a membership form. It will be, you give this much, you get this much back, right? We can work on this. We can work in deals with different people, work in deals with different organizations, and see what we can offer people for stuff like this. So it's possible. It's been done over and over again. You just gotta have an idea to say that, and you gotta have a good structure that's gonna make it happen, right? Before we go here, I want to just quickly see. So our crowdfunding campaign, really, what's really important? If time's up. Sorry. After this is pretty much it. Yeah. Is there anything else still on there? Next steps? Yeah, that's gone. After this is this next steps. Are we good for time? Cool. So crowdfunding wise, all we're doing is literally, the structure is going to be what's really difficult. There's a lot of people here, and there's a lot of people who aren't here. I know at least 40 people who are part of us but aren't here. We might do another meeting in Manchester to see if we can mobilize them as well, right? But we've got quite a few people, and somehow we've got to structure that in some sort of way. The structure is important. Why? Because you all have different social spheres, as it were. I have a list of people, and a lot of people I know, and based on my work history, I have a lot of people that I know. Based on your work history, you're going to have a lot of people who I have no clue about, and I'll never ever meet in my life. However, they might care about something like this. What happens is when we can merge our different social structures or our different social spheres, then we have like access to a lot more than I would ordinarily have. So that's what we're going to do. We got to think individually. What structures do we have? And who do we think we know that we think, hey, this is something that they might care about, but also what markets. I think we spoke about already, unfortunately, the different bubbles that exist on Twitter, and to be fair, it permeates most of the online sphere. There's just tons of different bubbles. But this only works if it enters the different spheres, as it were, right? So we've got to think about that also. We've got to think about narrative, how we sell this thing. The truth is, TCS is a lot of different things. You speak to me on Tuesday, it's something else. You speak to me on Wednesday, it's something else. Because different things float to the top. However, we've got to find a bottom line. What can we all agree on to say this is exactly what TCS is, and this is the line we think is going to attract the most people? Media, news buzz is very simple. 100% people funded media. There are probably a lot of other things. Also, we want to change, but literally, that's the bottom line. We've got to decide what the bottom line is for TCS. I'm gonna have a video, I think I can make a better video than that, personally. Don't wanna be rude, but I was like, that's so. But again, the good thing is it's very direct and straight to the point. But we've got to think, well, with all the creatives we have in here, like, can we not come up with a better video, like a better narrative, like something more exciting, something more youthful, something more fun, you know? That's something. But also exposure. I spoke about that already. Different markets, so on and so forth. Platform. Kickstarter is a very interesting platform. Because with Kickstarter, if you don't raise all the money, you don't get anything at all. That's right. You get zero. So initially, their target was $200,000. Guess how much they raised? 194. They got zero. So they had to start again. And they made their target 150. This time they got 171.
So where does the money go?
So who keeps the money?
They're going back to the people.
No.
Imagine Kickstarter's like, oh, money. That's what crazy counting system. You fail us out. No. Basically, the people's money are just pledges. Yeah, it's just pledges. So what happens? But it's pledges. So when you get them funding, the money then goes. Kickstarter holds it whilst that happens. So yeah, but the money just goes back to them. Kickstarter takes, I think, something like 5% of what you raise, like if you're successful. So it's not too bad. But that's the only problem with Kickstarter, is that if you don't raise it, you don't get it.
In terms of funders, though, it's a better way of doing it. People are more likely to pledge.
Absolutely.
And go, oh, it might not make it, so I'll get the money back and it doesn't make it.
Yeah, and exactly, that's why Kickstarter do it. They said in their FAQs, because I definitely went on their FAQs, I was like, well, we're going to find out how, because there's a loophole, and they said no. The reason they do it is because they want projects to be either overwhelmingly successful or just fail. And they said very rarely do they get mid projects. Either within 10 days you can tell your project isn't going to work, or already you're like, oh, hold on, this is going well. So that's why. So there's a debate to be had as well about whether we use Kickstarter because of the name recognition. You can tell people go on Kickstarter, got a Kickstarter campaign. It's kind of like exciting. Or we self-host it on the website. Only problem with that is people have to go on that website to see it, or they just won't see it. So it's like go on TCS Network for the UK, or you can't see anything. You know. So that's something to consider also. And lastly, endorsements. I'm working on some right now. The whole point of June is to work on that. On people who are going to be able to kind of fund this, not fund this, people are going to be able to share it with their networks, working on a couple of kind of celebrity endorsements. Got to be careful about the celebrities as well. You don't want it to be someone who, like, imagine Kay Hopkins like, this is what we need! And you're like, oh no. You might like her, I don't. But anyways, so that's one thing to think about also. So we're going to kind of think, if we don't pull together ideas and stuff, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work type thing. So that's just some ideas thinking about the crowdfunding.